guys, gals, and gamers alike, and welcome to another video from the team here at Gotta Play It All, division of BlenderTech.com. If you enjoy or learn something from the video, consider liking it and consider subscribing for more tips, tricks, tactics, mods, let's play guides, and indie games in general. Lastly, don't forget our motto, play your way. So today I am going to be bringing to you Stranded Deep. It's in alpha status, version 0.02. This is the Hotfix 1, so it's their most recent version, which I've found to be quite a playable game actually. Anyways, in this video I'm going to show you the very basics of the game just to get you started. If you're not interested in hints and tips and such, I'm just going to give you the very basics, things you should know, and just what the game looks like if you haven't played it before. My video after that, I'm going to go into basic crafting, how to set up a home island, and I'm going to give you a list of tips for starting out a proper game, or as what I might consider a proper and game for your best success. And after that I'm going to go into full crafting and full building, two separate portions of the game, crafting and building. And then after that possibly another video on exploring. Since the game world is procedurally generated, you can explore forever. I skipped the intro video just because it's for looks more than anything. So when you first start, you're gonna spawn near an island, and usually near a shipwreck, and we just so happen to have a shipwreck right beside us. That's great. So this game is procedurally generated. Everything is completely random. Every time you start the game, it's going to be a new game. Everything is going to be in a new place. It's going to be, every time you play the game is completely different. So it's a sandbox open world kind of game. What I like to do is, if I don't spawn near a nice island and a nice shipwreck, I just restart the game until I do, just because that's how I like to play alpha games when they're not in their full state. Anyways, basic controls: WASD to move, of course, C to crouch, shift and WASD runs to run, not runs. That would be a bad thing, I guess. And space to jump. So yeah, your basic first-person controls. Picking up objects is as simple as highlighting them with your crosshair until you see it change. You can see from life raft to paddle, and it'll also turn orange. Orange means something is highlighted or it's able to be crafted, and blue means it can be built. So there's highlighted, crafting, and building. So anyways, to pick something up, you simply just press E, and it goes into your inventory. You open your inventory by pressing tab, and so you see you have 8 item slots. Now you can hold 4 of each item in each slot. So while you can only hold 8 items, you can hold a total of, oh, I don't even know my multiplication tables, 8 times 4, 32 items. But that would be 4 lighters, 4 pocket knives, 4 water bottles, 4 paddles, 4 sticks, 4 knives, 4 coconuts, and 4 buckets. So you're quite limited right now, and you cannot craft bigger backpacks. So everything I collect, I like to keep in my raft on my home island, or someplace on my home island where I'm not gonna lose it. Continuing on, to drop an item, you just press Q, and it drops just like that. So E to pick up, Q to drop, and that'll be something that you're doing commonly. Now, you may have noticed that tab for your inventory and Q are right beside each other, so I do suggest changing the drop command from Q over to something like just in the middle of the keyboard, because tab, Q, and W and E are all right beside each other, and you're going to be constantly dropping items accidentally when you're trying to walk or trying to open your inventory. Anyways, moving on, when you hold down F, it brings up your watch. So we have a date and a time. The time, obviously, there's a day and night cycle. About 2 seconds is about 1 game minute, so the days do go by quite fast. And there's a temperature meter as well. The higher the temperature, the faster your thirst will go up. Also, the date doesn't really mean a whole lot. The date is completely random every time you start the game. And currently you see 0 days survived. The goal of the game right now is to survive as long as possible. The developers obviously want to build more of a story into this, but currently the only goal is just to survive as long as possible. Now, to build on that, when you bring up your watch, holding down F and then click, you see your stats, which currently are health, hunger, and thirst, and they'll go down as you injure yourself, get hungry, or get thirsty. Now, currently, health is the most important. Food and water, so hunger and thirst respectively, can be filled indefinitely from coconuts on palm trees, assuming you don't cut them all down for sticks. We'll get into that later. So, health is the most important thing. Do not go near anything that looks dangerous. You will step on spiky things in the ocean that'll poison you. If you eat raw crabs, you'll get sick, and slowly your health will drain. If you fall off a tree when you're climbing it, you'll break something and slowly bleed out. And there are ways to fix that. However, you cannot fix your health from natural resources like you can your hunger and thirst. You have to find items. You have to find cloth and duct tape to make a bandage. You have to find antibiotics to fix poisoning. So, and those are quite rare items. So yeah, be careful about your health is what I'm trying to emphasize. So yeah, that is the basics of the game. What I'm going to leave you off here on, just because I don't want to ruin the rest of the game. Shipwrecks, you'll see right where my crosshair is, that weird little mist, that's bubbles. You will notice this in the middle of the ocean sometimes. You'll just notice there's a shark. Sharks will tip over your raft, so just be aware of that. So I'm going to pause for a minute. The bubbles mean that there's a shipwreck. Shipwrecks are where you find loot. Loot is things that you cannot craft or build. So things such as flashlights and hammers and knives and buckets and engines and all sorts of other things. And antibiotics and cloth and duct tape for that matter. You can only find those in shipwrecks, and you'll find them in lockers, console cabinets, or chests, which you'll find on shipwrecks. However, all shipwrecks won't be above the surface like this, or even slightly below the surface. Uh-oh, he's trying to knock me off. Some shipwrecks will be quite deep and you'll have to dive for them, and the only way you'll know they're there other than exploring randomly is the bubbles on the surface. So if you see those bubbles on the surface of the ocean and you either have the weaponry to attack sharks or there's no sharks in the area currently, dive down and grab whatever's in there because it will be useful. Without a doubt. They are the most useful items in a game, whatever you find on shipwrecks. Anyways, the last thing I'm going to leave off on is when you're paddling. I'm going to paddle towards my home island here. Notice I'm in the back of the raft as I paddle. You can paddle from anywhere in the raft. I can paddle from the front of the raft, I can paddle from the middle of the raft, or I can paddle from the back of the raft. So anywhere in between there. Maybe let me get to land to illustrate this so that the shark doesn't knock me over. So when you're paddling towards an island, stand in the back of the raft like I am now. The reason for this is because the game generates tiles, and each tile fills up a certain amount of space. You can see that island over there is not going to look like what it looks like from here. That's just a static model because it's past the tile zone. That island over there, as you can tell, looks exactly the same. That's because of the random generation system. The game doesn't have the power to show you what an island looks like at a distance, so they all look the same. So it's based on a tile system. Now the reason I bring this up and the reason I tell you to stand in the back of the life raft is there's currently a bug where sometimes when you paddle to a new zone, so over towards a new island, when it loads the new tile, the new zone, sometimes if you're standing in the front, it'll load you and then it'll load your life raft and you'll end up in the water outside of your life raft attacked by a shark. So just something to be aware of. Try to paddle at least past the halfway point. You can paddle anywhere in your life raft, so just try to be past the halfway point of whichever direction you're traveling in, so that, like I said, when you pass through that zone, your life raft will get loaded first and then you'll get loaded next, and you won't lose you won't lose your position and such. One last thing I'm going to leave this off on, because I see this question asked all the times on the forums. Okay, I've collected a ton of items. Am I going to lose them when I come back to play my game later? No. You guys may know that I use Unity as a game development engine, and Stranded Deep is built using the Unity game engine. I've looked into how the game stores all your items, all the things you can fish, everything in the game. I've looked at how it's stored, and I've extrapolated that you can probably collect around 50 to 65,000 items before the game starts having problems remembering where items are. So basically, you don't have to worry about stuff. Drop it wherever you want, it'll always be there. That said, there are a couple bugs to be aware of, but I'll get to that in my next video. So that is the basics of the game, and a couple hints just to get you started for those of you that just want kind of an intro to the game, see what it looks like. If you're having problems, I will suggest going onto the Steam page and looking for a guide that'll tell you everything that can be crafted and found. What I found is the best is actually the wiki. So just search up Stranded Deep wiki. It's updated continuously, so it tells you everything you can find in the game as the game is slowly updated. Anyways, that's all for now. In the next video, like I said, I'm going to give you a brief history of the game, and then we're going to go through some basic gameplay and some basic crafting, because they go together. So we will see you in the next video. So thanks again for watching from the team here at Gotta Play It All, a division of BlenderTech.com. If you enjoyed this video, consider liking it and consider subscribing for regular updates. We will soon be on Twitter and Facebook. If you dislike this video for some reason, consider, instead of just leaving with a thumbs down, just instead leave us a comment telling us what you did not like, or if it's private, email us at info@blendertech.com so that we can continually improve our videos based on your community input. And remember our motto, play your way.